Hi everyone, I'm Pauli, also known as msqrt of Basic in the demo scene things. I've been making productions for like 5 years or something, and now I've been active in the dot thing, and I'll pretty much single-handedly be our comp crew here, so if you have any questions about like how the productions are going to be run, or if you want to test your production before it goes to the final show and see how it looks, because it might look incorrect, then that's something that you would ask me about. But yeah, that's who I am mostly. Oh, I'm also a TA at the graphics courses. Some of you might know me from there. But yeah, we will be talking about processing, which is the language/framework that we will be using.
Yeah.
Or at least we suggest. You are pretty much free to use anything that runs on, well, the compo machine will have a Windows installation, but if you have something else that you can show yourself on your own computer, then that's fine too. But
yeah.
But processing is the thing we suggest and support the most because it's kind of easy and nice to get into.
Yeah, and it works on all platforms.
Yeah, you can also program it on any of the supported platforms and then just give it to us and it will work. We haven't seen this breakup, at least in the past, ever. So.
Yeah, and well, it's open source. Yeah. It's based on Java. Ooh. Okay. Positive reactions also. That's cool. But it's mostly like a functional language. It's used.
You mean procedural?
Yeah.
It's nothing like Haskell. It's nothing like actual Java. It's if you've ever written C, C++,
yeah.
Java, or C# or something like that, then you're probably already familiar with everything we need. It's just a couple of function definitions and then global variables for the most part, because they are the thing that really works.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it ends up as being Java, but you don't really have to see that ever yourself.
And yeah, it's been ported to JavaScript and Python. You can use also those if you...
We haven't tried them out, but they look promising.
Maybe they work. Maybe. So how do you get started? Well, you download processing. It's just a package.
Yeah, a zip archive. You can just extract it anywhere and it will work.
Yeah, and going to the downloads, it asks if you want to donate. You don't have to donate anything. And yeah, unpack it, and it works. Hopefully. Yeah, time for some code.
Okay, so do we actually have anyone code illiterate here? So can everyone program something? Has everyone actually like...
Code illiterate, but you don't have to mind that.
Okay, you will learn. It's not too hard. And this is a very nice way to get into this. I myself learned to code in the graphics context because it's very nice. You instantly see what's going on. So you get that nice feedback.
Be part of groups that writing music or something.
Yeah, there are many different things you can do in a demo group.
Oh, this is a bit poor.
Why is it?
Yeah, it's quite terrible. Can everybody see? Shit.
No. What should you do? Like control and scroll up or something?
Yeah.
The screen turning black from time to time is a bigger problem, I guess.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, but this is the IDE. This is what you see when you start up processing.
Yeah.
I think we're using version 3. Any version should be fine. But, hello?
Hello.
It's better to use version 3 or later, or any, because there's some incompatibility.
Yeah, probably it's better to use the newer version. We can install them both if someone wants to use the earlier versions. Okay, now we have some actual code up there. So this is the setup function. There are a few functions that processing uses by default, like there's a setup function and then there's a draw function, which means that the setup will be called once when the program starts. So you can do stuff like set your screen size or pre-compute something if you need it. And then the draw function will be called each frame, so that you can it gets called like 60 or 30 or however fast you can render, and then it calls, it does all the rendering. Okay, so the normal contents for the setup function are pretty much laid out in there.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been dealing with
this
that.
is inconvenient,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So you told about the draw function. So in setup, yeah, we set up a screen. So I think it was
You just
size.
tell it the size of the screen.
Yeah.
Is it okay to
Does-
shout comments?
Uh-huh.
There's also with processing tree, there's also settings name function that,
Yeah, that should work.
yeah.
It's whatever works should work for everyone.
There's like you-
Processing is nice in that sense that you should get the same end result on any hardware and any OS, so that it should just work. Okay, now the arguments here for size are the width and height of the screen, and then P2D. There are several rendering modes in processing. For example, it can export to PDF if you want to do like a static image for some reason. I'm not sure why. But P2D or P3D are the ones that you probably want to use based on which dimension of graphics you want. If you want to have three-dimensional objects, then it's going to be P3D, and just for images and boxes on the screen, it will be P2D.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with actual like 3D rendering with a specific screen or something. Just if you want the things to look three-dimensional, then it's going to be P3D. It does all of the projection math and stuff for you. So if you have done that by hand in the past, it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You really have to think very little about stuff when you use processing. At least if your screen is functioning properly.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do you need than the size in the setup? Nothing, I guess. You can just put something like background in there.
Yeah.
Should work.
Yeah, you can put the background in.
Background just means in this that, eikö näistä siitä? Background just means that it will clear the whole screen to a certain color. So if you, for example, if you want a white background, you can do background 255. It will multiplicate the number, so you don't have to type 255, 255, 255. So you can just type it once, and it will be the grayscale value. Yeah, it's the normal convention for colors to be between 0 and 255, since usually they are laid out in the end as 8-bit values, and that's the range that you can represent with an unsigned 8-bit integer.
Yeah.
Usually nowadays people use just floating points from 0 to 1, but this is also okay. Okay. Can we get like sensible output from this, or
No.
what do we do?
Back group. What? I think I'll load a previous. I won't start live coding because it's impossible.
It's not, and it's very convincing that this is not that hard if you can do it like that.
Yeah.
But we'll just load up something that we did, which was very much like this. We coded for like 5 minutes or something, and and check that everything should be okay, and then it obviously wasn't.
Yeah. So we can see.
Fire up rocket so they can see that as well.
What?
Fire up rocket as well.
Yeah.
Do maybe the drawing example first, and then the Moonlander. Because as you saw in the demos, usually you have music and then visuals that somehow like act together to convey a message or just look nice. So for this purpose, we are using, and this is also used by a lot of groups in the scene, a tool called GNU Rocket, which is pretty much a tracker interface. I don't know if anyone has done tracker music, but it means that you have like time scrolls down, and then you just input values in a grid. It looks like Excel, but you just go down each row. And you can have multiple rows where each, or multiple columns where each denotes some variable. For example, you could have the background color be inputted via this. And the benefit in doing this is that you can, okay, that's actually just what I said, very nice. The benefit of doing this is that now you don't have to come up with a formula in your code like some people in the past have done projects where they just say that the color of the background is the sine of the time plus the cosine of the time plus some arbitrary formula. And that's usually a very...
Yeah, plasma effect.
Yeah, it gives you some kind of a plasma effect. And it's usually better if you have like explicit control over your rendering.
Yeah.
Like what happens at which time. Because when you use this thing, you don't have to, you can just say that, okay, at this time frame, at this time interval, the color will be something.
I think we should show the tool so that people can get it, like,
Yeah,
no,
might be.
Like what's the deal with this?
Okay.
If yeah.
Okay, so he pressed play, and this window comes up. This is the processing sketch. So this is where you will be rendering.
And we didn't even set up the screen size. It
gives you something like 100 by 100 by default.
Yeah.
That's why you want to set the size every time. You don't want to go with the default.
So now that we have
yeah, that's the name of the project, so it will be also be on the...
And we can see, because here we defined that we want to get a value which has the name color. So the color column is shown now.
Yeah,
in
it
the
appears.
rocket, and it communicates with sockets with the with this program. And Moonlander was coded by
Kusma. Moonlander was coded by Antti Hirvonen, yes.
Yeah.
GNU Rocket is by a senior called Kusma of Xs.
So now if we press spacebar, actually let's input a value. Like, if we input a value,
Okay.
Put
something
here.
Yes, now we see that
the screen is now white because it has the value 255. But if we go here and put 0, it's black. And
everything is black. You're a wizard. Yeah. Okay, so now if you play it, now it will change the color at that point when it's... Whee! And this is a simple example, but you can think about stuff that you can do with that.
Yeah. And there's music also.
Oh man.
Oh, it's a great song that I posted on IRC last night because I was bored.
Show also the interpolation.
Yeah,
now we have green.
Okay. If you want to, like, for the color to slide to black.
You don't always want like instant changes. So this is just like it steps instantly to the value and then it stays there forever.
And if you press I on the keyboard,
for interpolate,
you can see that it goes like this. And if we press play, it should start the horrible music that I did last night.
And should, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. So the effect is that now it slides linearly into 0 and then stays there forever. And even though we have like some set amount of steps where we define the values, they get interpolated also between those. So you don't, even if there are like 8 steps, it will actually interpolate even between those steps.
And when you initialize,
We have a question. Yep.
You pressed I, so in case you wanted to do it via code, then what do you do?
You can't.
well, you
can change these things via code because the code just sees one variable, and then you can edit the variable in time with this. So that's the idea.
Of course, you can call like some millis function.
You can obviously do similar stuff via code if you want to.
This is you should use this because it's really easy to use. It's because if the screen works, it's easy to use. But
You can ask the Moonlander current time.
Yeah, and you can start at some point of the demo, and if you do it by some magic variables in the code that's like linked to time, you have to create your own system for it.
Yeah, the only reason why this is viable is that it's way easier to edit stuff. When you're like, it's 15 minutes to the deadline and you still need to sync some effects, you don't want to write code like if time is more than 255 and less than 300, then do this. You want to input the values into an editor. It will be faster. You had a question.
Yeah, what is the Moonlander?
Okay, we will get to the Moonlander next.
Basically, Rocket is the system that's underlying behind.
Rocket is pretty much just a protocol definition.
Yeah. It's the protocol, and it has also an editor. And then Moonlander is the implementation of the protocol in processing, or actually in Java. You can probably use it on Android.
So you could use. There are multiple editors that you could use. The default one is quite fine. We have it, I think, on our site.
Yeah.
And then if you were coding like on C++ or something, then you needed a library for C++ for the Moonlander, for the Rocket. So Moonlander is just the processing implementation that can read the values out of it.
Yeah.
And this is implemented in TCP/IP, so you can, in theory and in practice, use this through multiple computers. So you can have one controlling the other if you really must. Question.
What do I when I want to export the demo?
When you want to export the demo, yes. So when you're very, very happy with how your background color slides, then you go to save as or export something. Which is it?
Save.
It's that, yeah.
Yeah.
And you
creates the Rocket file. I think. Do I have it somewhere?
It should be at the same place where your executable gets.
AA is the project. AA.
That's a wonderful name.
Yeah, it is.
We suggest you use something more.
Create a.
But
nice
don't do demo 2016. You will have a bunch of those folders. But yeah, now syncdata.rocket is the standard name for it. Though I guess the name shouldn't matter, or should it?
I think it has to be.
Yeah, I think it has to be. You can also define it, I think, in the code.
In the code you can state, okay, load this file, but by default it will load that file, so we will just save it as that. Okay?
Now, if we close this thing and we run this.
Yes.
How do I stop it?
Yeah. Just kill it. Yeah. Okay, so that's basically how the Moonlander thing works. So that's just for syncing effects and stuff with the editor, so you don't have to manually input like formulas for everything.
Yeah.
That's also viable. People do it, but that's kind of especially when you're on a tight schedule, it's not a good idea.
Yeah. And usually you have some awesome techno track instead of this raw artistic material. And usually it has some BPM that's constant. So
beats per minute.
Yeah. And then you can, every beat you can slice up into different size blocks. So this 4 is it's basically 16 notes
Would one be fourth notes?
Well, no, one beat. In one beat there is 4 slices, so it's 16 notes.
Okay.
16th notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, Moonlander is very simple to use. You just import the magic libraries and then do, well, pretty much that. This example is also on the Moonlander homepage, I guess, or at least something very similar.
Something similar is, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just copy-paste code. You don't really have to think about it.
And if you're on Linux, you might have to download DDF minim. You can find it on Google and then download the package from GitHub. Yep.
Sorry if I
Yeah, no problem.
Go ahead.
open tools and add tool and search for a minimum the libraries that should appear.
Oh, it's
It's on the wrong screen.
Because that changed with processing libraries. Because that's
Whoa.
I think that
Oh.
changed with
nice.
This is very modern.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can find libraries.
the
From there.
Moonlander isn't there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah, and this is not required on other platforms than Linux, I guess.
on mine on Windows for me it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to download the minim. Yeah.
Huh? You can use that, I guess. You can fetch it via.
And yeah, in the setup, you init with the soundtrack.
Yeah, 4 is probably good. It just means that how fast the cursor goes when you play it back. So how many time steps you can actually like affect the variables in. So that if you had 1 in there, you could only have like 4.
Like if this value was 1,
Yeah.
then you have one value for each beat.
Yeah. And now you have 4, and if you had 16 or something, then you would have like really tight possibilities. You could like do
Like
extremely precise
Yeah.
syncing, but then it will take ages since you have to scroll down. like-
Yeah. If you have a black metal track like
Yeah, you can do strobos with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, 4 is probably good
yeah.
for most users. Okay, should we do a little bit of the actual graphics now that we have the
Yeah.
screen working?
Okay. Well,
Do we want to show that or just a new one?
yeah, I guess we could do a new one. So you go here,
Okay, so this
choose
is
new, and then it goes to the other screen and drag it. And oh well, yeah. If we want to create now a new demo, the winning combo,
okay.
the combo winner. So it's import. Was it Moonlander? Dot library. Dot.
Star. I guess it was that. Yeah. What? Import.
Oh no! Why I do this? No!
Was there any auto-completion for that?
I don't think there is. Or is
No,
there?
but of course you can use like Vim or Emacs if that's your.
That's definitely if that's your thing, kind of thing.
And
Yeah.
then we create a global variable or global object, Moonlander object.
I think it's with a capital L, like camel case, or is it?
No, I think it's
Okay.
this way. We can check it.
Yeah. You were correct. All of my processing experience comes from giving introductions like this. So it's very simple to use because I've probably coded less processing than you will have by the end of the weekend.
And then of course we have the
P2D.
VGA.
Let's do P2D. Let's draw some boxes or something that bounce.
D.
Just
Okay.
something simple.
Yeah.
If it's okay to like just show, there's also a method called settings that you might need at some point to call that.
What does it give you?
I remember that at some point there was like you should call the screen size there. but I might be wrong. Just pointing out that there is also.
Okay.
Like if something breaks at some point, we can check.
So
Do we?
now we're gonna get wrecked.
We are gonna get wrecked once again.
I'm sorry.
And then there's the.
I volunteer next year for. Maybe. We have 4 years, I guess.
Phil.
I think this was the. Yeah, I don't know. Some values. And rect should give us.
It's a rectangle for short, and it should give us a rectangle. At the upper left corner will be at the first location 40-40, and then do some other numbers, please.
And it's for 40-40 size rectangle.
Okay,
And
let's play. Let's see if it works.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
That's so nice. Okay, now move it. Let's do the x-coordinate. Add like sign of millis or something. Or do you?
Yeah.
However.
Yeah. Let's not use Moonlander here because we already showed it. You can ask us, of course, if you want to, but this is. So
Yeah,
now we get
processing gives you the
milliseconds.
It gives you the running time of the programming in milliseconds.
And
Should
we
be defined
divide by
float.
the. Oh yeah, true.
This is not
Too much Python.
Oh, you should program in real languages instead.
Yeah, maybe. And actually,
Okay, we want to get wrecked later.
I don't know how to use this editor because I just know Win.
That's a sad story.
The settings method is only needed if you need to define the size of the screen by variables, or if you are like me and just use processing as a Java library.
Okay, so you don't have to really think about that since the size should just be something hard-coded. 720p, like, what is it, 1280 by 720 or full HD are pretty good.
And
It's not actually filling it.
yeah.
No, it's a, yeah, okay.
We are doing the classic beginner mistake, which is we do not clear the screen between each draw call. So you just see, it doesn't draw the background again. It just draws the
Yeah,
picture on top of picture. So we can fix this.
yeah, the fill just means that what color the next thing that we draw will be in. We can also do stuff like no stroke, which means like that it would only draw the outlines and stuff.
And yeah, if we have fill and we want a red
That's red enough.
rect. We still don't.
You have twice you have first rect and then another rect that's moved. So that's okay. Now you are
True.
just moving the other
that's
one.
actually that's exactly what I was trying to do to show you that errors will be made all the time. Now it moves.
Yeah.
And we can use all kinds of mathematical functions here. We can, for example, say
This is exactly what you want to use the Moonlander instead for, but
yeah, but we are stupid, so we do this. And now, considering all logic, it should move 30 pixels up and down.
as it goes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it should move like previously on the x-axis and then also have this wobble on the y-axis.
whoa.
Yeah, this is almost like a demo.
Yeah, this is almost.
Put a for loop and do many of them or something.
Yeah. So,
Like in ordinary programming, you can do loops and ifs and stuff like that.
50.
No,
I have
not like that.
I have a bad keyboard.
Yeah. And then if you do something with the I in there, for example, sign of I plus time or something.
Yeah. So
And
we
maybe
can
add to the x coordinate or something. I don't
we
know.
can actually.
You can do anything. Ooh.
Yeah, I can do anything.
This is
I
so
want.
cool.
It's amazing. So now it should look like a worm.
No, it shouldn't. It should look like a brick of things. that
Oh
moves.
yeah, true.
Now if you add also I to
Oh,
the
time.
time, yes.
So I to the time. Yeah, I guess that's about right. Now it should look like a worm.
Woo!
And now it doesn't actually show 50
Quads.
rectangles. And all the excess rectangles are drawn
Yeah, this
over the other screen. Or, well,
it's just
off
everything gets
screen.
clipped. If you draw outside the screen, it just clips, obviously. So that's pretty much everything you need to do most of the C64 demos with proper syncing and stuff. So
let's do this horrible thing that we're gonna use coder colors.
oh, nice.
I don't know, 40. No, that's too much. Actually, if we do some math.
No, let's do it. Let's not do math.
Let's just say something.
Life maths.
Where's my blackboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we should have 2 worms. And
Do you have some offset for the second one?
yeah, I'll put it here because this is the y coordinate. So
That
let's
will
say
be lower.
200.
2000. Ooh. Now
And
the second one will be
let's
lower.
say
and then,
that we multiply this. Now we should have different color.
yeah, they should have
words.
some gradients because the I was in the iterator was used to calculate the final color. But yeah, just stuff like this is usually very easy and interesting way to generate shapes.
And we can also do 3D stuff.
Yeah, just show the thing that you had.
Instead of practicing talk, I coded. This took about 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah, so the thing is that when you're doing 3D, usually it's kind of a
It's very hard.
It's not very hard, but it's kind of a drag. But in processing, everything is easy. You just have a camera, and then you have objects that you can place in the scene. So everything works marvelously. You can also you can affect the fields of view and stuff. You could, for example, zoom in and have that as a parameter in the Moonlander or something. But getting objects on the screen is not very hard.
Yeah. Basically, what we need to draw a box, we say box.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as in the rectangle. The biggest thing that changes is that everything has a third coordinate. So if you want to translate, you get a third coordinate. If you draw a box, it will have a third coordinate for both the position and the width. Are there any? Well,
Yeah, you have to take into consideration
that was copy pasted from somewhere.
Yeah. So it's like
It was on the processing site. If you go to the examples, there's 3D, and then you take that out from there.
And then
Or you can draw a triangle and figure out the trigonometry. It's not that hard, but it's kind of a useless exercise, maybe.
And we can do darker boxes.
There are some things that when you're doing 3D graphics in processing, you have this. Because in 3D it's much more difficult than on the 2D screen to say where you want stuff to be. So usually it's handled via this like implicit model view, so that you have like a cursor, a 3D cursor that is not visible anywhere, that you can translate and then rotate, and whatever you draw will be drawn where that 3D cursor is. So That's
explained better in the talk last year, which is in
Yeah, you should definitely watch it if you want to create.
Oh yeah, Antti goes
Yeah.
through actually the detail, and he shows some examples that actually show the. Yeah, that's a good idea to see if you want to do 3D.
Yeah.
Where can we find that video?
It's on YouTube under the account
Yeah.
.ru or something.
The dot r.
The.ru. Are there that many?
Yeah.
There will be
Yeah.
Is it? Do we have links to the presentation?
No, I don't think we
an
have.
info section on the
Well, we will put
Yeah.
it on the current one. Okay, question.
How do you think these visualizations?
Huh?
How do you think the visualizations?
Well, that's pretty much where the Moonlander comes in.
Yeah.
So
We can do something like import.
So the idea is that the Moonlander gives you a timeline where you can move, change variables in time. So, for example, you can count there that after 4 beats, the background goes white, and then when you start the demo, you will hear the first 4 beats, and then the background will change. So that's the idea of the Moonlander thing. You could also sync them by hand, but that's kind of like just by coming up with formulas and doing if statements and such. What are you gonna do?
I don't know if I should. I don't think I should show this because it's
Yeah.
live
But-
coding is
Live coding is
terrible.
Do you not have an example?
Well, I have some. I have
do the Doge thing.
yeah.
It was,
I
it was
have
awesome.
a old meme.
Lauri is a friend of dank memes, so
Yeah, this isn't very dank anymore. It's too. It isn't
but
dank.
yeah, this is
shit.
syncable with Moonlander. So you can change the position of the Doge and what other parameters did you have? If you
Yeah.
take rocket up,
Yeah,
you can.
if I take no.
If you launch the rocket, then you can kind of show how this works in practice.
Yeah, cool. So we have rocket here, and we have defined in the code that it takes. Wait a second. Yeah, we should get track 1 and glitch over here.
Always when you call get value, that thing should just, when you play the sketch, it should just update onto the rocket screen. So now we have, yes, track
Yeah.
1 and glitch. Those are the numbers that we are going to use.
And we can load the.
Oh, you have some,
Yeah, is it this one? Yeah.
it might be that one. Okay.
So we have the thing that was already playing. Without the rocket, when we launch it, it loads this file. We can load this file in Rocket,
And you can also change something if you want to. Or this is already perfect, but
yeah,
I mean,
you don't need to change everything.
What are some good places to get the music?
Oh yeah, good question. I think Jamendo.
Not anymore,
No.
because it pays usually, to my knowledge nowadays.
at least the streams are still free. I'm not sure about the downloading part.
At least there was like
Well, if you Google royalty-free music or something, you will probably get like tons of sites where you can.
Yeah.
Creative Commons.
Yes. So just you don't have to be. Well, we haven't had any problems with music licensing, but
Yeah, but please use public domain. If you don't want to, you can create your own music.
that's always the best option.
Yeah, or if you know someone who does music, you can enslave them. And
Also, if you frequent or at least dare to step on your foot onto the poet.net, old school BBS, there are tons of musicians, and there's also, I think, wanted.org or something.
yeah, but
Because the demo scene is filled with musicians, but there are not enough graphicians.
Yeah.
So that's the usual ratio.
yeah, but I think in this time frame,
In this time frame, it might be too much for them.
But do we have slides? Yeah.
Oh, we still had them.
Okay. Yeah. Draw. This we.
Yeah, that's just
Covered, so
what's
it-
called every frame.
Yeah.
So clear the screen, draw something, that's it.
And you should probably like create your own functions to clarify the code, so it all isn't in like the draw.
Yeah, you might want one function per effect or something like that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Or you can do object-oriented.
Yeah, you can do all.
Programming and-
Now is the time to use all of the cool abstractions you've learned at school.
Yeah. Create animal and inherit.
Yeah.
And
Then it says moo,
polymorphism.
even though it's a
and-
dog. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, graphathon.fi/downloads. It's the.
It's probably also not very hard to find on the page.
Yeah, and I can actually put a link
Yep.
to this, and you can find the link in the big screen. So. And yeah, using Rocket, we kind of covered that. Yep. Create a track using values. Well, you can. Well, yeah. Okay.
We didn't really use the slides much, but yeah.
Yeah,
this is-
yeah. You have to remember to call Moonlander update every frame.
Oh,
So-
yeah. So in the beginning of the frame, you want to clear the screen and then call Moonlander update. So otherwise, the values will stay where they were in the beginning.
So it fetches them.
Yeah.
Also, can we use the millis function there, or should we use the Moonlander get time?
Yeah, you should probably use Moonlander get time.
Yeah, Moonlander
Yes.
get time has the because you can when you're editing the rocket track, like you have the values and you're updating them all the time. If you use millis, then the sketch will keep on playing. But if you do Moonlander get time, then it will actually stop when you stop the playback. So that should be better.
Remember, just check what, like, is it seconds or milliseconds? Because I remember
It's milliseconds. It's called millis. That's the reason.
at the Moonlander.
Ah, Moonlander.
Moonlander.
Moonlander is probably seconds.
Yeah, because
If I recall correctly, I've used Moonlander for one project ever. There we actually did the intercomputer thing. Pekka had a very slow laptop, so he was on the couch tuning parameters, and it was rendering on my desktop. So it was more comfortable to sit there. It was convenient. So always go for abstractions.
So when were you supposed to use the get value function?
When you want to get a value.
So like
if you have a parameter, if you want to like control like how big a box is, you want to create this kind of wobbling box.
Every frame.
yeah, every
It
frame.
calls it every frame. It updates. When you call update, it updates.
Yeah, the value you get
value.
is just an ordinary float, but it doesn't change, but you can get it, and you should get it each frame.
Yeah.
And this is the usual workflow is that first you code an effect, then you think about, okay, which values here I want to change, and then you create like that. You get a value and create a track for each of those variables.
Is there an easy way to edit the Excel kind of file to have like repeating values?
Yeah,
You can copy paste.
Yeah.
And
So it's just.
does it have like an infinite repetition of something? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
There are several editors available,
But
so you can check out if you are not happy with this one. But
Yeah.
they do mostly the same stuff. Huh?
it's an XML file. If I remember.
Oh, it's an XML file, so you can code your own editor. Be even better.
But you press shift. Actually, you should know that a lot of the documentation is on the GitHub page of Rocket.
Yeah.
So check that out. It's in.
Yeah, and there are some buttons that you need to know the shortcut, at least in the default editor. So there are no selections in the drop-down menus, but you have to actually know the shortcut and press that. So that's, for example, it took me a year to find the interpolation thing, because it's not documented very well. There are also several modes of interpolation. The first is linear, and then I think there's some Hermite spline or something.
Assign interpolation to one.
Yeah. It's between. If you're at a value, it will be between that and the next one, or if you're between two values, then it will be between those two. Yeah, but this is the.
So all the like the interpolation. This shows all the shortcuts.
Interpolation mode. Yeah, but yeah, this is something you should probably read too.
Yeah.
At least if it feels clumsy. If it feels okay, then it's probably okay. Then you know enough about it. But yeah, I think.
Do you have any questions? This was quite unstructured.
To the moon on that GitHub page at the end as orbs.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think we used ground control. It was okay.
Yeah, but there's the editor here, and there's we have compiled versions of the editor.
Yeah, the editor comes uncompiled, which is weird in the Windows world, but we do have a compiled version, so you don't have to do it yourselves.
Also for Linux.
Yep.
And Mac.
For everything.
Not everything. I want to use FreeBSD.
No. Yeah, so if there are no, well, go ahead.
So can you step through the code to check for every frame the values in progress?
So if I want to like...
I mean, if you want to find a specific frame and change it at that point, can you step through the code, the programs, I mean?
The program?
The video or the demo.
Do you mean the timeline or the actual program code?
Well, if you could in real time step through the demo and see the kind of where you want to put the value in the rocket.
You can just step up and down, and it will display the current frame. So if you have all the values, those define the frame. So yeah, so that's kind of neat. Though you don't get infinite precision. So this is exactly what I meant when I said that the value of the 4, the magical 4 that we put in there earlier, that means how many steps per beat you have. So if you had 16 or 60 or a billion, then you could do way more precise edits. But now you don't get every frame, but usually you don't want every frame. You just want some specific beats or some specific actions in the visuals.
Could you explain the interpolations?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is this red line represents linear
It even states there linear smooth.
Yeah,
smooth
so
will be like something it eases it in and eases it out. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a smooth movement instead.
Yeah, but I think it's just like some
It's
sign.
it's a Hermite spline.
Okay, yeah. And
Ramp. What does that even do?
Let's see.
Is it? It was only in the first one.
Yeah.
We need to go to the beginning. I think it just steps it somehow. Well, you can play around with these and see what happens. No, it.
I think it's yeah.
Yeah, it's
goes
just
fast. Yeah.
Yeah, accelerates. Okay, so
do you have questions?
That's pretty
Okay.
much. Go ahead.
Is there some kind of an easy way to get input values straight from MIDI files?
MIDI files.
The medium those
The Minim has something for that.
Yeah.
there was like last year or the year before that, sorry, I don't remember, but there was you can use fast Fourier transform or inverse, I don't remember, but the medium.
No, but if you have a MIDI file, then you don't want to
Yeah.
do that because you have note data. That's way better than doing a
that's-
FFT for the. But it is definitely possible. I don't know
I
if
think
processing
there's
can do that
yeah,
by
there's
default.
There's probably some library for it, but we don't know of it. But it's yeah, I think someone. has
It
got
should be possible since
Yeah.
well, it's not a. It's only a programmatic detail,
Yeah.
like implementing it.
Yeah.
But you don't probably want to do it right now. So
Do you have questions more?
yeah,
And
are there any further ones?
Of course, if you're still like completely like don't know anything, just come ask us or
Yeah, and we will be also like circling around throughout the
yeah.
event, seeing how everyone's doing, and so you won't be left alone.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yep, together. This will be very inspirational. Okay, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
quite different. And